All right, so you saw my short uh, opinion of Terminator Genisys. So now this is my more in-depth critique. If you're still trying to decide, well, what made it so terrible? What made it so rough? I'll go ahead and kind of tell you some of the more, technical aspects of it or creative aspects, but I'm not going to give any spoilers. So I'm going to try to keep this video brief, just a more in-depth critique. However, if you do want to hear kind of a play-by-play of the movie and why it just really doesn't make sense, a lot of film critics do that. So I figure, hey, well, I'll do that too. Give you kind of a few different versions. So depending on how much of me you can stand, you can get a few minutes or you can get several more minutes. So again, no spoilers in this one. I made a list because I don't remember it off the top of my head. The biggest thing was the writing was just so bad. So bad. And to be more specific, why was the writing bad? There was a lot of exposition. They just kind of explain a whole lot of stuff. And in movies, it's always better to show, not tell. That's one of the biggest rules. They didn't do that. So they just went ahead, they explained the whole situation of it's just a lot of exposition. If you don't know what exposition is, just go ahead and Google that. Another thing was the dialogue was just bad, not inspiring. There was a lot of callbacks to the previous movies. I'll be back. It's like, okay, I guess let's go ahead and do that. It was too quippy for me. That was another thing about this movie, just way too quippy, which had to do with the dialogue, but then also a little bit of the acting, because there was this whole joke about Terminators, or I should say Arnold Schwarzenegger, smiling. And I mean, if you remember in Terminator 2, he had a quick little smirk when he picked up the chain gun for the first time, and here it's like all of a sudden he can't smile. It was just stupid. Also because of the bad writing, the plot was confusing. They dove way too much in the whole time travel thing. Time travel was a huge emphasis in this whole movie. There was a lot of time traveling happening several times. And, of course, that was how the whole thing started, in the original movie, Terminator 2 Judgment Day also. But it wasn't like a focus. It was just like, all right, these Terminators or, Kyle Reese came back, time travel happened, and that was it. That was it. Done. When you start trying to explain time travel in movies, you run the risk of being confusing or contradictory. And this movie was full of paradoxes. You're trying to keep track of all the different time traveling elements, and it just doesn't make any sense, and that makes the plot confusing. And also, I guess, boring, because you can't kind of keep track of, there is no logic. There are no rules in this world. And then also I was not a fan of the acting, or the casting choices. Jai Courtney, he played Kyle Reese. He barely showed emotion. And it was just weird. The only thing I've ever seen him in otherwise that I did like him in, I guess, was Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, both of those. He's an Australian drunk that didn't really do a whole lot other than, a few quick scenes. So that was fine, but when you got him as the main guy, yeah, he just wasn't cutting it for me. He definitely wasn't as gritty as the original Kyle Reese was in the original Terminator. So I really didn't much care for him. Now, Emilia Clarke, I feel like she gave a good performance, but she was not the right person for this role. It just didn't suit her. It just didn't fit her. I was not convinced of her being any sort of uh, of course, I'm kind of comparing her to Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor, and yeah, she just didn't cut it for me. She can act; she's a good actor, Amelia Clarke, and she's cute. But yeah, it wasn't a good role for her. And then John Connor, I don't know. What's that dude's name? Something Clark. I wrote it down because I knew I would need to, like, Jason Clark. He's just got a weird face. To me, he's got a weird face. So I didn't really much care for him as John Connor. Now, one of the really big things that bugged me was I didn't feel like there was any tension. A lot of tension in the original and Terminator 2. Didn't really feel like there was any tension in this. And something I noticed is part of that has to do with the music. Music kind of helps set the tension, the tone. The music didn't do that. The writing didn't do that either. But and then whenever there was music, a lot of times it just seemed like generic, optimistic action music. So, oh yeah, and then, well, I guess I can't really say too much more without getting into any spoilers or any plot points or anything like that. 1984 did not seem like 1984 to me. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but it just looked like, just a regular street corner. Maybe 1984 doesn't really look that much different from, current day streets. I don't know. Yeah, it just, I don't know. But it was just boring. It was a boring movie. So anyway, that's my a little more in-depth critique. If you're curious, why I said in my short, it's terrible, it's rough, don't bother seeing it, that's why. Now, if you are like me and you like listening to your favorite movie critics or video essayists describe the movie, kind of play by play, their opinions, ask those questions, I can go ahead and do that too. It'll be a longer video, of course. I'll have to go back and watch the damn movie again so I can kind of do those points. If you want to go ahead and punish me like that, or you just really want to hear me, Dave, kind of give my opinions, my spin on the story, scene by scene, question by question, point by point, then just let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those good things to help me out. Let me know that's something that you want me to do, and I'll do that. I'll do that for more videos too. I already did another short. I've done okay, anyways, this is already going too long. So, let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.